Okay, good morning. It is a pleasure and a privilege to be here. I'm always thrilled to attend the Governor's Symposium, and being invited here to speak by His Excellency, I'm now not only thrilled but also terribly nervous, so bear with me a little bit as I talk about conserving biodiversity towards securing our national development. So why is biodiversity conservation necessary for sustainable national development? Of course, it protects valuable species and ecosystems. It promotes a sense of national cohesion and identity, and it impacts human well-being through contributions to health, as my colleague explained, through agriculture, food security, environmental and natural resource management, land use, livelihoods, disaster management, arts, and culture, amongst many other things. Just a little pause, the picture that you see on this slide is actually one that was taken here many, many years ago, apparently. We've been having discussions in the office as to who the third gentleman is. We know one is Mr. Lake, one is Mr. Deher, so if anybody knows who the third gentleman is, come and see me so that we can settle this discussion once and for all. We do have some common challenges. Lack of environmental education and outreach, of course. It is critical for us to instill that sense of environmental pride in our children, to make them aware of the issues that St. Martin has, not only related to protecting our biodiversity, but also issues such as waste management. There's also a need to establish the link between the economy and the environment and reshifting what it means to have economic growth. Instead of just focusing on unbridled and unrestrained development, it also has to have a sustainable focus. Also, we need to have respect for resources which are finite in nature. Fisheries, for example, are a finite resource. St. Martin is also a small area, so we can only develop so much without significantly impacting the environment. Sustainable waste management. I mean, I can swim around with fish and count coral and chase after monkeys as much as I want, but until we come to a solution to our serious waste management issues, we will not have true environmental protection on St. Martin. Similarly, we also need to establish a terrestrially protected area. On an island as small as St. Martin, it is impossible for us to only have a marine park. As much as I love the marine park, as much as it is my baby, but we also need to have an area on land that is protected and conserved as well. We need the support of our decision makers. I think that's more or less self-explanatory. And we need to support organizations that work very hard to ensure that we have sustainable development on St. Martin. I mean, I'm very lucky to have a board that is very supportive, a staff that works very hard, but we are also critically under capacity and underfunded. So some of the solutions: we need to create education and awareness. We need to acknowledge the importance of biodiversity conservation and resource management to the economy. We need to use ideas and suggestions by those who have seen development occur before their very eyes. We need to combine traditional economics with environmental economics in developing a green economy. We need to ensure that all laws and controls are upheld and controlled related to the environment. And we need to focus on the protection of biodiversity. A little bit of a brain break just to walk you through what biodiversity really is. Which do you prefer, A or B? Which do you prefer, A or B? A or B? A or B? Just to highlight what biodiversity really is. Biodiversity is a diversity of ecosystems of our biological resource. So it is important that we have as diverse ecosystem as possible for our national development. Biodiversity also has intrinsic value. Intrinsic value means that it is valuable in and of itself. Just the reason that it exists means that it is valuable. It also has utilitarian value, means that it is valuable to a means to an end, such as goods, sustainable fisheries. Our marine park, for example, provides an area where fish can breed, where they can procreate, and they will spill over, thus sustaining our fisheries. And also services such as ecosystems. The marine park, again, provides an area where ecotourism can be developed. People come there to dive and swim and look at our coral reefs and swim with sharks, believe it or not. But what do we get from biodiversity? We get the very air that we breathe. We get the very food that we eat, the water that we drink, the medicine that heals us, the aesthetics that please us, and the ideas that inspire us. But we do have threats to our biodiversity. Habitat destruction combined with pollution, combined with invasive species, combined with climate change has resulted in thus far quite an unsustainable development for our country. Just some examples, my good friend here, the lionfish. filling in of our wetlands, pollution, our landfill. I cannot belabor the point too much how important it is to come to a real sustainable solution to our waste management issues, and of course sea level rise because of global climate change. We are working on it. His Excellency has mentioned this Millennium Development Goals, which have kind of evolved into Sustainable Development Goals, and one of the major goals is to ensure environmental sustainability as part of our national development. So it has some indicators. These slides might be difficult to read for people who are sitting in the back. Should have been earlier. But indicator 59 is proportion of land covered by forest, and 60 is the ratio of areas protected to maintain biodiversity. So proportion of land covered by forest. This indicator is important because it shows how many green areas we still have left on St. Martin. And as you can see, those green areas, those true forests, as per the definition of the United Nations Development Program, are quite restricted. They're mostly restricted to the hilltops. So in order for us to come to a plan for the implementation of a protected area, we are currently tendering for a baseline inventory to be conducted on St. Martin together with BZK and together with the United Development Program. Because in order to lobby, we need to know the state of our terrestrial environment. The last time a survey was done on our terrestrial environment was in 1996. 1996 is a year after 1995, and 1995 was when our good friend Hurricane Lewis visited us. So as you can imagine, much has changed since then. We need to have a benchmark for natural state of affairs on St. Martin and a starting point for a sustainable future. So we need to know if this map that we have is indeed still relevant. Indicator 60 is areas protected to maintain biodiversity. We are doing well when it comes to this indicator. I was talking to Dr. Peterson yesterday, and he said that Aruba is still 7 years planning their marine park, planning on establishing their marine park. And I told him that the Nature Foundation started to plan for their marine park in 1997, and it only got established in 2010, so you still have some ways to go. So Sustainable Development 101, our marine protected area, the Man of War Shoal Marine Park. So the first thing that we did is we conducted ecological baseline and economic valuation studies. So we measured the ecosystem. We identified where it had the highest biodiversity. We also did an economic valuation study where we placed a monetary value on the ecosystem, and we came up with a figure of about US $50 million per year that the ecosystem contributes to the economy of St. Martin. Through, people come here, they go to the beach. The beach is provided by coral sand, for example. The reasons why our waters are so clear is because we have coral reefs and seagrass beds. Diving tourism contributes about $3 million annually because people come here to dive. They also stay in hotels, they eat at restaurants, drink significantly in our bars, etc., etc. So with the results of those studies, we again entered into negotiations with our stakeholders. We got them on board, and we approached government, and through our lobbying efforts, we finally got the marine park established on the 30th of December, 2010. Just this handsome fella is a frogfish. Some of the things that you can find in the marine park. These are all pictures of our marine park here on St. Martin. Also a frogfish. Sometimes we get told that we close off an area to fishing and that we're anti-fishing, but I just wanted to highlight the fact that, traditional knowledge on fishing grounds we use as a basis in consulting with our stakeholders, our most important stakeholder, fishermen, to establish an area where fish can breed and procreate. A fish, it's not a very intelligent animal, so it's not going to say that it's going to stick around in one particular area and not travel outside of it. So you have a spillover effect, and hopefully with that spillover effect, we can kind of reinvigorate traditional fishing, which has been quite lacking on St. Martin for the past few decades. This is a picture from last week. I just wanted to plug it. You might recognize a very distinguished and famous person in the picture, with next to him sitting Sir Richard Branson. Yeah. This was a meeting that was held last week on shark conservation. It was organized actually by the St. Martin government through the cabinet of Minister Arundel with the Pew Charitable Trust, which is a huge NGO located in the United States, and with the Nature Foundation, which is a tiny NGO located in St. Martin, where our government, and I would like to thank Prime Minister Marlin also for his contributions to the meeting, where we protected sharks in our waters.
After